Many of us often think that feeling dizzy when standing it for a long time, blurred vision, ringing in the ears, or even fainting in older adults is just a normal phenomenon of aging and nothing to worry about. But in reality, it is an important warning sign that the body sends to each of us, especially after the age of 60. Imagine one morning going to the market, standing in line to pay, standing for a long time in an elevator, or waiting for a medical examination at the hospital. After a short time, you suddenly feel your head spinning, your limbs weakening, your vision blurring, your heart racing, and if you don't sit down in time, the risk of falling, injury, or even stroke can completely occur. So what really happens inside the body of a person over 60 years old when standing for a long time? Why can an action that seems so simple become a potential health risk? And doctors warn, what do we need to do immediately to prevent unfortunate consequences? First of all, let's thoroughly understand the root cause of this phenomenon. When we are young, our circulatory system and autonomic nervous system function very efficiently. Whenever we change posture, such as standing up suddenly or moving, the brain sends signals to adjust the heart rate and blood pressure, ensuring that blood is pumped to the brain steadily. But over time, especially after the age of 60, the organs gradually age. The blood vessel walls lose their natural elasticity, the sympathetic nervous system reacts more slowly, the heart pumps blood less effectively, while the venous valves in the legs no longer lock the blood flow as before. The consequence is that when standing for a long time, blood pools in the legs. The amount of blood returning to the heart decreases. Blood pressure drops slightly. And the brain temporarily lacks blood. That is when you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even faint. Studies show that orthostatic hypotension is the most common cause in the elderly. Whenever changing posture from sitting to standing, or standing for a long time, blood pressure can drop by more than 20 mmHg in systolic pressure, or at 10 mmHg in diastolic pressure, leading to symptoms such as dizziness, loss of balance, blurred vision, and sometimes fainting. Not only that, after the age of 60, the blood vessels supplying the brain often become hardened and narrowed, and their ability to self-regulate blood flow decreases significantly. The brain is an organ that consumes about 20% of the body's total blood volume. Even a small deficiency can cause you to lose balance and feel dizzy. Underlying conditions such as heart failure, arrhythmia, and heart valve stenosis also contribute to weaker heart pumping and unstable blood flow to the brain. Additionally, elderly people often face anemia due to iron, vitamin B12, folic acid deficiencies, or malnutrition. When the number of red blood cells and oxygen transported to the brain decreases, symptoms of dizziness and lightheadedness when standing for a long time are more likely to occur. Dehydration and electrolyte imbalances caused by drinking little water or using diuretics also reduce blood volume, lower blood pressure, and cause feelings of dizziness. Another factor that cannot be overlooked is the side effects of medications commonly used by the elderly, such as antihypertensive drugs, diuretics, sedatives, or antidepressants. These medications can cause a drop in blood pressure or alter the body's electrolyte balance, contributing to dizziness when standing for a long time. Neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, spinal cord injury, and autonomic nervous system disorders also affect the ability to regulate blood pressure, causing the body to respond slowly when changing posture. If the phenomenon of dizziness when standing for a long time is ignored, the consequences can be very serious. Falls and injuries are the primary risks, as the bones of elderly people are brittle and weak, and even a minor fall can lead to hip fractures, wrist fractures, or even traumatic brain injury. When fainting suddenly and falling onto a hard surface, the likelihood of brain hematoma, cerebral hemorrhage, or cerebral infarction increases significantly. If the cause originates from arrhythmia or cardiovascular disease, the risk of sudden death is entirely possible if not treated promptly. So what do doctors advise people over 60 to do immediately to prevent this dangerous condition? First, it is necessary to adjust daily living habits. You should not stand still in one position for too long. When queuing or waiting, shift your weight from one leg to the other and gently stretch to stimulate blood circulation in the lower limbs. If you have to stand up after sitting for a long time, stand up slowly. Hold a still standing posture for a few seconds before walking, and avoid sudden changes in posture. Drinking enough water every day is extremely important, at least 1.5 to 2 liters, especially on hot days or when exercising a lot. Avoid dehydration, as reduced blood circulation means a higher risk of low blood pressure and dizziness. Gentle exercises such as walking, slow cycling, yoga, or health exercises help improve circulatory system health, increase the heart's blood pumping ability, and support the body in better regulating blood pressure when changing positions. Simple exercises like heel raises, knee bends, deep breathing, or lying down with legs elevated also help blood flow more easily, reduce accumulation in the legs, and prevent the risk of dizziness. Regarding diet, it is necessary to supplement foods rich in iron, vitamin B12, and folic acid to prevent anemia and enhance the brain's oxygen transport capacity. If there are issues with high blood pressure, salt intake should be limited but not completely avoided, as salt helps maintain stable blood volume. Eat enough green vegetables and fruits to balance electrolytes and provide essential vitamins. Another important thing is to review the medications being used. If you frequently feel dizzy, you should discuss the side effects of the medication with your doctor, and never stop taking the medication on your own. Sometimes, simply adjusting the dosage or changing the medication can improve the dizziness. Regularly monitoring blood pressure is essential. Blood pressure should be measured in the morning and evening, especially after changing posture. Keep a blood pressure diary so the doctor has information when assessing health. If there is orthostatic hypotension, compression stockings can help limit blood pooling in the legs and prevent dizziness when standing for a long time. Periodic health checkups, especially cardiovascular examinations, blood pressure, cerebral blood vessels, and blood tests to detect anemia or electrolyte imbalances. If there are abnormal signs such as dizziness accompanied by chest pain, shortness of breath, palpitations, weakness in the limbs, difficulty speaking, or facial drooping, it is necessary to see a doctor immediately to promptly address the risk of stroke or complications. The home exercises recommended by doctors to help reduce the risk of dizziness when standing for a long time are very simple but extremely effective. For example, calf exercises: stand straight, rise onto your toes 20 times, which helps contract the calf muscles and push blood back to the heart. Knee bending exercises: stand holding onto a chair, bend each knee 10 to 15 times, improving lower limb circulation. Deep breathing exercises: sit or stand, inhale deeply through the nose, exhale slowly through the mouth, increasing oxygen to the brain and stabilizing the autonomic nervous system. Leg raising exercises: lie on your back, raise your legs to a 45-degree angle for 1 to 2 minutes, helping blood return to the heart more easily and reducing dizziness. Listen to the story of Mrs. Lon, 67 years old, a typical case. She often felt dizzy every time she went to the market, and standing for a long time caused blurred vision and dizziness, but she thought it was just old age. One time, she fainted right in the supermarket and hit her head on the floor. Fortunately, she was rescued in time, and the doctor diagnosed her with orthostatic hypotension combined with mild cerebral ischemia. If detected and treated early through lifestyle adjustments and proper medication, Mrs. Lan could have avoided this dangerous accident. Looking at Mrs. Lan's story, it is clear that the phenomenon of dizziness when standing for a long time in people over 60 is not something normal that we can ignore. This is a warning from the body about potential risks related to blood pressure, cardiovascular system, brain, and other important organs. Doctors advise elderly people to pay attention to drinking enough water, exercising gently, eating a nutritious diet, regularly monitoring blood pressure, and having periodic checkups to detect health problems early, especially when there are abnormal signs such as dizziness accompanied by chest pain, difficulty breathing, palpitations, weakness in the limbs, difficulty speaking, or facial drooping. Do not be complacent, but must go for a medical examination immediately to prevent the risk of falls, injuries, or stroke. Health in old age is the result of daily attention and care. Sometimes just a few small habits like drinking enough water, gentle exercise, standing up slowly, eating properly, regularly checking medication and blood pressure can protect life and prevent unexpected accidents. Remember, old age does not mean being powerless against abnormal signs in the body. Elderly people can actively prevent the risks of dizziness, falls, injuries, and dangerous complications by listening to their bodies and following simple recommendations given by doctors. If you or your loved ones experience dizziness when standing for a long time, do not take it lightly. It could be the first sign of a series of underlying health issues. Take action today. Adjust your lifestyle habits, engage in light exercise, eat a nutritious diet, monitor your blood pressure, and have regular health checkups. Sometimes, just a small change can make a big difference in the quality of life in old age. Old age is a time to be cherished, where each day can become healthy and peaceful if we know how to listen to and take care of ourselves. Don't let small signs like dizziness when standing for a long time turn into a major danger. Be proactive in protecting your health so that every day that passes is a joyful day spent fully with family, loved ones, and friends. And remember, if you experience unusual symptoms such as dizziness accompanied by chest pain, difficulty breathing, palpitations, weakness in the limbs, difficulty speaking, or facial drooping, seek medical attention immediately. Taking action today can save your life tomorrow. Health is the most precious gift. Taking care of health in old age is taking care of happiness, safety, and peace for the whole family. Act now from the smallest things to live healthily, happily, and fully every moment of old age.